How's it going, everyone? JBS here. Trying out the video. I don't even know if I'm going to post it or not, but I have a live pick on DKS. It's set up, so I thought this would be interesting to share. So I mentioned in my video that if it broke through the high of the day, I'm going to get into the trade here, 12:45. So we're just going to kind of look at it bar for bar. I may fast forward certain points. I might not fast forward certain points, but just look at bar for bar and seeing what's buying doing. So here's the setup on the stock. We got a nice D1, strong volume, technical breakout. We got some room to the upside. We got a nice, I call this kind of this gap up bid check. So we had this huge gap with a nice follow through green candle, came back and tested the open, couldn't quite get it to it. We got a higher double bottom, higher low, and we're starting to grind up higher. What I like is that if you look at this from an H8 candle, right, it has this bullish flag formation, and the gap is that first very, very long candle. So that's what I liked in the stock. You can see how it broke through some of these levels. Here's some minor D1 levels that it was riding on, tested, and then started to move to the upside. So I took very precise entry, got in right here at 221.72. This is an A- entry. I usually like to get in, if you look at this timer here, so this candle closed at 12:50, right? So I like to get in at 12:49 and 50 seconds. Like the last 10 to 15 seconds is when I put in my order. So I missed that by 20 seconds. And that's how precise I like to be sometimes. As a compression break, my bias here is like, look, we got this move here, no downside. We're holding this pretty well. And we got this bullish cycle. So let me at least, I feel like we're going to hold VWAP here. This is a really nice entry point in the stock. So I can probably ride this guy higher for some decent gains. I think the market's going to test the high of the day, and we're going to see if we get a bearish cross at the high of the day here. So DKS is going up pretty well. If I get sort of like a low volume red candle that tests the 8 EMA, something like that maybe, I would add to the trade there. Got a bit of a bearish hammer coming on DKS, which is not the best, but I'm not quite panicking. It's still too early in the trade. I noticed that when I make decisions to exit trades in the first 5 or 10 minutes, sometimes I don't always make the best decisions. I usually have a little bit of leeway over here. So I like what I see in DKS. I think I can certainly get a my normal passive target of a quarter ATR, which is about $2 on the move here. So I actually would have not gotten that. That would have just been about $1.20. So still a little bit too low, in my opinion. I'm willing to let this still be a loser at this point. That's kind of the thing you have to have. So if we break through this low at 220, then I'm going to be out of the trade. We get a close below that. I'm out of the trade to take the loss. So I'm okay with taking that loss. We get a little bearish hammer here. So I'm okay with this. I want to see it quickly erased. A little sign of a little bit of selling pressure at this point, especially considering what the market's doing over here. So yeah, let's just see how DKS goes. I like to think of the scenarios too on what the market could do. So one scenario is that we have a double top and then we sell off. The other scenarios that we test the high, the all-time high, and then we pull back. That would still be pretty bullish. The third scenario is that we actually break through the all-time high, and that's the most bullish scenario. So in most of these scenarios, if I'm going up here, the scenario one, if I get a double top, I should be able to at least scratch out of the trade or take a small loss, or should have some cushion in terms of time and price to scratch out of the trade. In the second scenario, I should be able to take some nice profits, probably at least a a nice quarter ATR move on that stock. And in the third scenario, I should be able to ride it even higher. Instead of maybe $2, I might be able to take 3 or even 350, something like that on the stock. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. It's kind of looking at in DKS. So just managing the trade. I know what I want to see in SPY. I know what I want to see in the market. My M5 bias on SPY is a 2 from a scale of -3 to 3. My D1 bias on SPY is a 0. My stock bias on DKS is also probably a 2 to a 3. It's a decent bullish. It's not the most bullish chart, but short term we have a lot of momentum. We're kind of through a lot of levels, so I'm definitely at least a 2 on this. And then intraday I am a 3. It's grinding up higher, compressing, moving up higher. So just want to just kind of ride this move out. There's no need to panic. And I'm also willing to time stop out of the move. That's kind of the other warning sign here. So if this stock doesn't move for another hour or so, right? If it's 145, the stock has been flat, I'll get out of the trade and I'll scratch it, and that's fine. If the stock what's it called? If the stock but I guess, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I should expect it to kind of grind up a little bit higher here. And if anything, this will be a short-term reversal, maybe a pullback to the 8 EMA, and then we get the next launching pad. Again, when the price gets a little bit too extended from the 8 EMA, that's when it pulls back a little bit, and we get that next launching off point. So you have to kind of know the pattern of these stocks, right? And if you just look at, so it over here, right, got a little bit extended, pull back, compress for a little bit, and then it got its next leg higher. You can see that it holds most of the gains of the prior move. And sometimes it'll come back and it'll retest some of these breakout levels. So we could maybe see a little retest of this level. I'm not too panicking. I'd like to see maybe a little bullish hammer and then the next little jump higher. But yeah, just knowing what each of the candles mean. I really want to see some low volume on this red candle here. A nice little low volume pullback. A little low volume, even bullish hammer. So I'd like to see this come down, test the 8 EMA, and form a little bit of a hammer. Maybe something like this candle here would be pretty nice. Or actually, if I actually go to my day trading challenge, I'll show you guys one of the, where is it here? Pan W. That was one of my best trades that I took. See on Pan W, if I zoom in a little bit here, see how we had this little low volume. So here's the candle here, right? We had this tail kind of pull back to the 8 EMA, and see how we had a pretty low volume on that tail relative to the other volumes. That's what I want to see to add on something like DKS. So that's what I'm looking for here. I'm cool with little tiny low volume pops. That's part of the trend. There's going to be a little bit of profit taking, and then institutional buyers, they want that good price, and then they'll push the price up higher. It doesn't get too extended from itself. It kind of does its own thing. So when you have that information, red bars are not scary, green bars are not scary. They're just telling you what buyers and sellers are doing and who has the control. We're in an uptrend. We're in a nice grindy stock here. Low volume red bars mean buyers are still in control. Institutions will push a little bit of price down. They'll sell a little bit of supply here just to get a more favorable bid, and then they'll buy that stock up. That's how the trends happen. Now I see a little bit of a tail forming here. Market has a little bit of pretty close to resistance here. So if the market wasn't as close to resistance, I would actually not mind adding to the trade. And also, the stock had a little bit of a bearish hammer. So if it didn't have that bearish hammer, right, then I'd feel more comfortable in adding to the trade. Again, let's look at Pan W, and this is why I like having it. We had this green bar here, and then we got this little test. It wasn't a bearish hammer. So that's what I'm not as keen on, immediately getting in on the trade. Also, no rush to quite add to it right away. Maybe if it can clear this over here, get over here, I could be pretty interested in doing that. So yeah, just watching it, candle by candle. Candle by candle. My other pick, what was it here? My other pick was SMR. Didn't quite set up how I wanted to set up. Still could set up later in the day. It's compressing out here pretty well, but not really rallying with the market. It's taking quite a bit of time to really get something going. Could break out over here. This is a pretty long compression. And if this is the pullback here, then I think we might get a pretty nice move on this. Although I'd probably be a little bit more nimble on a stock like this. I might get my order out just in case here. So, oops, that's too much. I want to get something like 38. Yeah, 39. So it'll probably be something like 1541, something like that, just in case we get that close above this level. I am cautious, but we're getting this 1-up bear cross. We're getting a little double top here, so we got to see if we get anything coming up. I don't want to panic on this. See, this is some decent volume here, so there's some high volume candle over here. A little bit of a pullback. I think it's going to test this 8 EMA and then climb up higher. So if I don't want to over manage the trade, I'm going to bracket this level. Definitely have an alert here because that is my stopping point. Probably have an alert over here, so that'll trigger. I know it's probably going to trigger in this candle, so that's probably kind of a useless alert, but I kind of bracket that, see how we're doing. And look, just because we're getting this, it looks like we're crossing up here, but this blue line hasn't quite flattened out. So, I'm not too worried about the move just yet. Let's see what happens, right? We want to anticipate, not confirm. We know that this is a key decision point, but we can't quite short yet until we see some sort of candle. All right, this SMR poking up higher. We got a couple of candles that were tails, so we have to get a close here. If we do not get a close here, I am not going long. You are biting on the fishing hook. It's like that episode of SpongeBob where they had the hooks. You do not want to be that guy with like all the hooks in his mouth. So SPY is doing its thing. It's pausing a little bit. The other thing that we want to see here too, and let me see if I have this clue. I think I saw it earlier. It was one of these days. What the hell was it? Okay, I think it was something like that. I think it was this day here. Okay, so right here's a relative high. Right, see how when we hit it, we reject off it a little bit. We actually don't give up any ground, and then we move up higher. So that's kind of what I'd want to see for me to still be pretty confident in SPY long, versus something like this where if we hit this level and we reject off a little bit stronger. Okay, yeah, that tells me that we're probably not going to crack through it. So how we react to that level is going to give me a lot of clues. So right now, right, we're holding this level. We've got a little bit of a dip to the 8 EMA, right? We hold these gains. We hold most of this candle. Yeah, then I still feel pretty bullish. Still feel pretty bullish. Let's look at DKS again. Okay, still coming a little bit, pulling back a little bit. Not worried, right? You might think, oh my god, dude, like DKS, SPY's going up. It's up and then flat the last two bars. DKS is pulling back. DKS is doing its own thing. DKS broke out of compression at 12:45 when the market was doing nothing. It's marching to the tune of its own drum. What's more important, sometimes you have to watch bar for bar, but what's more important is really the price action of the stock and then the general trend of the market. So you're going to have some market reaction, but not always, right? Like look at this 11:55 bar, this 12:05 bar. Here's the 11:55 bar, 12:05. I mean, there's just no reaction to this. It's really just completely doing its own thing. So I can ignore the market to some degree. I can discount it. What I can't discount is when you have very strong price action on very heavy volume. The weaker the price action, the lower the volume, the more I can discount the market because it has less gravitational impact on the stock. So I mentioned that if we get a little tiny pullback here, very tiny pullback, and then we kind of move up higher, we kind of hold these gains, I will feel comfortable adding to DKS. Feel very comfortable adding to DKS. SMR, still not quite at this high. So let me set another end of day alert here. It's one of the annoying things about these kind of stocks. Like if I trigger a high of day alert, I think it comes in just a tad too late for my taste. It comes in after the candle close. I want to get in on the price alert. But sometimes you get a lot of false signals. We have DKS over here. So let's take a look at what else is going on. On is doing pretty well. Let's take a look at on. All right, it's getting through its high of the day. Going over here. Now, if I'm wrong and we get kind of a smackdown, let's see if we can find a nice bearish chart here in the meantime. So let's look at some weak D1s. I like to sort by range. Okay, ALB, AVTR is below its low of the day. Let's look at the pre-configured here. Let's look at relatively weak. I have some 1OP signals here. So I want to see something that is red on a couple of time frames here. I don't think we'll see anything that's going to be too red on a D1 time frame. We're getting some of those reversals. But let's look at ANF. It's not terrible. You want to get through this level. I mean, and this is sort of a reversal setup. Oh, this is terrible volume. I'm not touching that. Super choppy price action. Want a little bit of volume here. mRNA. So this is a nice reversal pattern here. So you see how it came back down and then it smacked through here. Now what I'd want to see is we actually have to get through the low of this reversal and then it'd feel a little bit more better about shorting the stock. Clearly quite relatively weak intraday, but it's more of an advanced pattern. You got the 8 EMA there, you got the 200-day SMA here, so there's not a ton of room. A lot can go wrong. Let's look at EAT. EAT, oh yeah, EAT is looking pretty good. So we're hugging that AVWebQ and the 50 SMA. We have a little bit of room to this level. This is a nice breakdown on EAT. Now I'd want to be careful because there's a lot of volume that came in earlier. So if we can actually get through that, it could be a nice bearish swing on the stocks. Let's take a look at EAT. So the low of the day here could be a pretty nice price target, but you have to remember too that if this is a strong move, there's a chance that this could be a double bottom. So buyers could come in a little bit earlier than you expect. This is a good chance to sell into strength on a move like this. Also, you probably want to join on the move over here, right? When it's hugging to the low of the day and then we break down, right? Then you can actually really ride the move down lower, and you don't have to be worried about that kind of move. So I'll just tag that right now, but that's a nice little reversal setup. Nice breakdown of the D1. You see this double top over here, getting through some of these levels. I like to have these reversals ideally clear the SMA 50. Nice. Let's see if DKS is responding. That's kind of responding, not really responding here. But look at this, right? We're getting this pop up over here. We got this 1p bearish cross. Let's see if this holds. There's a little bit of volume coming in. ATRC. It's too choppy. IONS. Too choppy. VRTX. Not crazy about that. Maybe Red Royal Flush. Is that something here? Nope. Pop Bear, maybe? Nothing. Wow. Pop Plus Bear. Okay, Pop Plus Bear. We do have some stuff here. Let's look sort by volume, maybe. Or maybe let's do range first. Low range, high volume. Low range, high volume. So TGTX is up for the day. DAL. I think that had earnings. So it's coming in here. The AVWAP-E is still sort of settling down. Certainly has some weakness, but it's kind of still finding its level. Not the best setup, in my opinion. Because there's a ton of setups that could work, but you want to get the setups that are really, really good. That's how you get the most amount of confidence in your trade. MLCO, entertainment, nope. See if I can. I don't know. I feel like I got to get a better chart here. BMY. So it's bearish trend coming at the top of the trend here, rejecting off a little bit. Ooh, okay, this is a nice double bottom here. This is a pretty strong reversal, pretty tall bounce, coming in a little bit higher, which is not favorable. So I'd like to see us get through here on BMY. That tells us then we have a nice little path for a day trade. NVST, let's look at this guy. Pretty close to low of the day. We got a nice major low minus trend line. Not crazy about getting in here. I'd rather get in on the top. I mean, I wonder if, let's look at Bear Grinder. Oh, there's SMR. All right, it's giving us a little bit of a false hope here. All right, let's just go back to SMR. Are we finally getting something here? We got a nice 40 seconds. Okay, so we're actually getting this move higher. And I know that if this stock is really strong, it's going to ignore the market move. So I'm going to get in on SMR right now. 548. All right. And it's going to be a quicker trade. So we got an ATR of, yeah, I mean, if I can take like 30, 35 cents on this stock, that's a pretty nice win. So let's see if we can get that going. So let's see, 15, I'll have to do math in my head, 1583, something like that. Just a tiny win. All right, so I want to see us hold this level, right? If we kind of break back into this range, I'm okay with us holding the 8 EMA, but I don't want to fall back too hard here. So I'm leading on this breakout. We're poking above right here. We should get that second move higher. I would normally be a little bit more aggressive, but since we're close to this resistance and we have a little bit of a bearish cross here, I'm being a little bit more prudent with my selection of price action. All right, you can see how DKS is pulling back the 8 EMA. It's hugging some of this level. It's probably going to do its own thing in the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 candles. That's what I'm thinking. So we're in SMR. That's a nice setup here. Stock is moving up higher. Now, in the bullish scenario, I do give up some profits. But right now, if we do reject off this high of the day, it just might be enough for SMR to get through my first price target, but not my second. So it might be more wise to at least do a half price target at that point, and then take the remaining half out later. So let's cancel this very quickly. So I'm going to take half here at 1583. And then if we get a more bullish target, whoops, oh, there's my 1-up bullish signal. Okay. Now, if we get another half target here, then I might sell another one. Oops, sorry, another 19, maybe around 16 bucks. So that's kind of like my layers here. The first one is a pop, a nice grind higher. The second one is a little bit of an air pocket. Yep, so just holding the gains here. It's going to get us next leg higher. Market seems to be holding the gains so far. You can see that this pop had a nice amount of volume over here. We're popping up here a little bit of a wick, so we'll see if that ends up getting smacked down. There's no immediate smackdown so far, which tells us that buyers are gobbling up the price action. Nice. SMR is moving up higher. Probably won't post this in the chat because I'm kind of talking about this here. Looks like Pete is long. ES. All right. Yeah, I'm really just watching for the failed breakout here. If we hold this for a doji, that's also fine. Sometimes it takes a second to digest the gains, and then we get the pop up. That's kind of what happened on DKS, right? We got over here. It actually, for a second, it looked like what the hell we're going to do, and then we actually got the move up higher. Yeah, so this could be a nice day trade. Yeah, and if I take these 2 wins, that's all I need today, man. I'm pretty happy if I take these 2 wins. I don't have to push my luck too much, but we have a nice steady grind, and this is one of those things where it really feels like my mind can play tricks on me sometimes. You're like, oh man, it's got to reverse here, it's got to reverse here, but you just don't get the signal candle, right? You don't get the smackdown. And what you're seeing is here, we got to remember that we have this strong bullish trend, compressed. We got a pretty swift dip, right? It lasted, I don't know, 20 minutes. Held VWAP, a little bit above VWAP actually, and then we actually started to move up higher. All right. The other thing about SMR that I like too, if you draw this little bit, this kind of an ascending triangle here, right? You see how this price is coming up higher and higher and higher, and then we are actually, right? We're holding this level, so there's upward pressure on this stock, and then we get the breakout. So that helps contextualize the price action of this move. Also, by the way, in SMR, I'm also willing to add on these kind of a low volume pullback, maybe something like this to the 8 EMA or low volume pullback. Something like this would be perfect. I would definitely add on that low volume hammer. And then if the price starts to go parabolic, I'm going to sell into strength because that's when it gets a little bit too ahead of itself. Same thing in DKS. And I'm willing to give this, I'm entering pretty confidently again. I'm willing to give this about an hour of moving around here. And then my stop is still at the bottom of this key bar, 1492. So it's about 50, 60 cents. So, you know, about double my risk, but I usually win more than 2/3 of my trades, closer to 80% of the trades. So ends up being a positive profit factor. DKS is coming up a little bit here. I would actually wouldn't mind adding to the trade here. I think I'm going to add a little bit to DKS. I think I'm going to add probably just a small amount. I'm going to add 2 shares and see if I can get a pullback to the 8 EMA. If I can't, no worries. I will live. Maybe something like probably like 220. Yeah, something like that. So just add a very tiny amount here. We're getting through the high of the day. We're holding up. This is about to cross up again. So we just get a little bit of a pullback here. We should be good. This double top has not been bothering me because we held the gains and now we're inching up higher. So as long as we make a new high of the day, I'm not worried about this. If we kind of stall out over here and we get a move down, I'll be able to scratch out of the ad and still take profits on the trade. So let's see if I get the fill. If I get the fill, I'll post it in the chat because I should be posting that kind of stuff. A little bit of a pause. High volume doji. That's fine. Let's see if we can break through that. So I'm going to set an alert right here. That way I don't have to watch it. Nice. So DKS moving up. Looks like I'm not going to get the entry here, but that's okay. I'm looking to get 250 on this trade. A little bit more than my profit target, but that's a nice steady grind higher. And I might exit most of that. Just trickling up higher. We're not panicking, right? It's going to have these little pullbacks and then moves up higher. And you can see actually ended up being right about this candle. Low volume pullback. If we weren't at the all-time high, I wouldn't have mind adding. Or you had to see if this candle would hold, and then it started to hold here. So moving up higher, looks like it should break out in this candle. If we get another bearish hammer, though, I'm probably going to be out of the trade and take a tiny win. Looks like that may not be happening. Yeah, nice move on DKS here. I may not get the pullback. Now, if we get through the all-time high and we compress a little bit, we'll have to see, because now we made a pretty decent move, and it's going to be a little bit later in the move. I'd rather add a little bit earlier in the move on sort of a test, but I'm okay with just riding this guy up, riding this bad boy up. So I'm going to have a, if we pull away here, I'm going to try to take 5 shares at 220. Let's see, 224, probably 225. This is a pretty aggressive price target. I don't think it's going to fill. But if I get kind of just like a couple of like 1 or 2 like parabolic candles, then I should get a fill here. SMR holding up here. Same thing with SMR. If we get 1 or 2 parabolic candles and it pulls away, then I should get a fill. Just grinding up higher. I want to see us close above this level, or at least close at this level. That would give me still confirm that the trend is on the way here. I'm probably going to be canceling the order pretty soon. So it's going to be a longer video. Feel free to put it on double speed here as we just manage the trade. Looking pretty good. Yeah, let's see if we can get any shorts ready. I don't think we're going to have a chance to short today. If we do have thing is we're making a new high of the day, right? So we still have the bullish trend. So shorts are going to be sort of out of the question. This is my normal picks here. Let's go to my tags and let's go to the bottom of the range. So we still have EAT. Coupang was strong. I think it's weak now. Lulu was weak earlier today. So I'm going to get rid of some of these guys. Remove symbol. Remove symbol. Cost is too strong. Remove toll. JPM is just fucking all over the place today. Lily, Docu. Docu's been pretty nice. I don't know if Docu's actually done anything though. It's been compressing as moving up. Yeah, it's still compressing. I had a nice move. Tested that 50 SMA. Looks like it's unable to get some escape velocity from that. So certainly some sellers here. If it can show its colors during another market pullback, then Docu could set up for like a later day move, maybe like in the last hour to 2 hours of the day. IBM was pretty nice. Missed this guy earlier today too. Missed this guy earlier today. Yeah, still looking good here. Just grinding up higher. It looks like it got through this post-earnings gap. It's right at that level. Actually, it should be the close here. So I actually do the close of this candle. Close at 841. So there's still some room to the close. Still some room to the close. I mean, this is a beautiful grind up. This is like the perfect kind of trade, especially when, let's see, 1220. I think I saw this at 1220. Pulled back here, broke out over here. Yeah, it's a nice move up higher on IBM. That's when you get in right here. Test, 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 test. Then we start to lift off, accelerate. This is a bearish engulfing candle. Okay, volume. You see if it's a solo, and you get a little bit of a top here. So this candle on IBM, you do want to see it clear above the high. Otherwise, I think I'd get out of the trade. Nice. There's SMR. It's moving up. DKS continues to move up higher. I missed my entry, so I'm just going to clear out that entry. Always does this. Cancel that. So this is just moving up higher. Yeah, if we can poke up above it. I mean, I can get a tiny one on this. I would do half size on IBM. I mean, if I get $1 on 75 cents is not bad on a stock like this. 75 cents is not too bad. I just don't think I have 75 cents of room, so it's not worth it. All right, let's go back to our good friend SMR, which seems to be moving up higher. There we go. All right, grinding up higher, right? So we have the hold, moving up higher. So you're going to scale this into some strength here. Yep, so DKS is coming back up again. And it's probably going to pull back another time and then move up higher. I know I can probably exit for a double top anytime, so I'm not too worried about that. Trend strength is still good. You can see that we have high volumes on these candles here, a little bit lower volume on these candles. Just don't want to get too ahead of itself. I like to see a move up, pause, move up, pause. That is pretty nice. So move up, pause, move up, pause. So that's sort of the nice steady trickle over here. If you get stack, that's when you want to get out. And it kind of does this 2 steps up, 1 step back. The nice thing is, though, we might have a good chance to re-enter on this trade. We're at the all-time high, so we got to be a little bit careful here. We got some buyers some sellers from here yesterday. We'll see if they went away or not. We could see 1P crossing over, but again, I'm not panicking on the trade. I think I can still do pretty well, and I'm also willing to still scratch out of the trade at this point, right? If this goes against me now and we get a strict rejection, I'm cool with scratching out of the trade. Obviously, it'd be nice to take some profits, but you have to be willing to take the scratch of the loss in order to ride the profits a little bit higher. Run. Let's take a look at run. I think I saw this earlier today. Some beautiful price action in the morning. I lied. Well, this is actually a really nice entry right now. I love this breakout on run. Yeah, beautiful breakout on the stock. Choppy, you want to get in on these LRSI alerts. When we break out to an all-time high, and then you get the retest. So right, see, look at this breakout, and you get the retest. That's when you can get in on the stock. Here is that retest, right? Breakout, retest, breakout. So if you can get in somewhere around 1730, around that 8 EMA too, that's a pretty nice entry point on run. It's not going to run off without you, as they say. Nice. DKS is looking pretty good. Let's take a look at our friend Senor SMR. Nice popping up here. That's a nice candle working in our favor. Let's see what's going on in the chat. What the hell's going on? There's a little bit of drama. New all-time high on SPY. And this is a beautiful, this is a nice orderly grind. And the interesting thing with this kind of move is I took it here, right? And I have to base it on potential, right? If you're looking oh, now it's been a nice move, it's too late. It's way too late, right? You got to base it off of potential of a move. I didn't know if we're going to make a new all-time high. I didn't know if we were actually going to test the all-time high or even if we're going to break through it. I'm just kind of going on potential and risk reward, where if I have a really strong stock, I know that if I'm totally wrong on this, I'll take a tiny loss. But more often than not, most of the scenarios should pan out a little bit more bullish. If I was trading SPY, I would probably get in on a reversal. I don't like chasing on SPY. I don't think I would take it here. I actually got to close my... Oh, yeah, I'm probably going to buy it here. Let's see here. We might get a smackdown. Okay, so we got a little bit of red candle here. Now I want to see this little low volume test, and I want to see SPY sort of hold the gains. If SPY stalls out here for a while, I'm also going to be out of the trade. If we see if we see a sharp rejection, I'm also not going to panic because we did make a new all-time high. I think buyers are going to gobble it up. So I don't think we're going to see any smackdown anytime soon. We're going to have time, I think, for the smackdown. Nice. DKS is moving up higher. SMR, a little bit of a pause here. So it's starting to accelerate. I may take some partial profits if we start to accelerate another long green candle here. Take some partial profits on that. That'll be some nice gains. Had the rest of it as a scratch. And if I take partial profits, it's only because I think that the stock is still going to run higher. We certainly have a bullish trend day today. Very, very interesting price action in terms of SPY for the past few days. We have pretty much a bullish bearish sandwich, right? Bullish trend day, bearish trend day, bullish trend day, starting to look like 2022. Which I do not mind because at least we're getting trends and we're getting movement. So I am very cool with that. Nice. So this is already up more than $2. This is more than one ATR move. And still looking good, man. Nothing is in the way here. Let's see how this candle goes. I don't know if we're going to 225. It seems a little bit too ambitious for a candle like this, but who knows? Who knows? I'm probably going to take profits on this candle, though, or partial profits at least. DocU is getting an RSI across. SMR, bearish candle here. Still early in the formation. I want to see this be a hammer, or still this at least be very low volume. So keeping an eye on SMR. We've got a good entry here, right? So we can always we want to scratch out of the trade if it's a high volume bearish hammer. But it has these candles, it had these little solos, and then it kind of grinds back up. So this is a low volume hammer, and we stall at the 8 EMA. I'm going to add to that trade. Beautiful stuff on DKS. Beautiful stuff. Good time to take partial profits. So I am ready to, not quite yet. Let's see how this candle goes. I'm ready to modify my order. Probably bring it down just a tad, and I think I'm going to actually clear it because I want to take maybe partial profits. So let's go to 4 shares instead. By the way, here's an interesting thing. If you use if you use a scroll wheel on the price, it moves it up by 3 cents. So you get like a nice little bit of precision here, and you can use this up and down key. Same thing with the quantity. You can move that up by 3. So that is pretty nice in terms of kind of just playing around with this kind of stuff. So let's do something like something like 2244.51. If it just goes up a little bit more. So this is getting a little bit climaxy. You can see this is the key too, right? High volume candle. If you have a long green candle with lower volume than this, that is a climax, and I'm going to be out of the trade. So I'm just getting my order ready. Redfin. Haven't seen Redfin in forever. I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna look at that in a little bit. I want to focus on this this precision entry, precision exit over here. So a little bit of volume over here. Not too worried about it. Makes me a little bit less bullish, but if we get it gobbled up pretty quickly, then I am cool with staying in on the trade. Now it's starting to run up here. I love this pop. Love this pop up on the stock. Some volume is coming in. So let's see if I can get it in right here. The high. Ready to modify this down. Last 30 seconds of the candle. Yeah, see, it's probably going to be lower volume than that other one. So if it gets a little bit of a pop-up, then I'm good, but I'm probably going to start taking profits now. Yep. Give it a second and take some profits. Okay, put it in the trade. Exit long. DKS 1/2 at 244.55 for, this is a pretty nice move. It's like a $250 move for nice profits. Oh, rising RVol, there you go. There you go. See, that's what I got. So my 255 was a little bit more aggressive, but we got this pop up. I think we're going to see, again, pop up a little bit of compression back over here. I'm still bullish on the market. Still going to ride this guy up a little bit more. No! Ooh, spilled my coffee. Oh, got excited. DKS has just moved up so well. Oh, boy. Market's still grinding higher. I'm just taking a little bit of profits here at the all-time high. I'm not fully taking out of the trade, but scaling out of the trade. But yeah, I like what I see in DKS. Let's look at SMR here. All right, so we got a bearish engulfing candle, lower volume. Watching it pretty carefully here. If we fall back into the range, then I'm not crazy about it. I think I can probably still scratch out on a pop. A little bit less bullish on this now. So we might try to test out of a double top. I want to see this stall. We're getting the retest of this breakout. I want to see this stall over here and start to move up higher. DKS is still pretty good. I'm going to see if we can get a nice little low volume hammer, pull back to the 8 EMA, or compress a little bit and then pop up higher. And then I'll probably take the remaining profits, on the next sort of surge up. And that is the way to do it. Beautiful move on DKS. Happy I posted this one in the chat. I also didn't feel like explaining all the stuff in the chat, so that's kind of why I'm doing this video. Beautiful move here up on SPY. Yeah, I'm gonna close the SPY positions here. Just want to get out of this trade. It's a dumb old trade I did on SPY. Just me being stupid. Okay. That's a nice move, man. That's a $3 move on DKS. It's about a half ATR move, and it's still going to be going. So I'm not right. I think with that ATR stuff, it's like you have your idea for some targets, but it's also about potential, right? If we have a market trend day and a strong stock, that one half ATR is just going to be a little bit too passive, you know. And half is, I'm not saying like, oh man, I have to get half, but it helps me kind of gauge the strength of a move. Like yesterday on Netflix, I took almost a full ATR move on that. Still grinding up higher on this stock. Let's take a quick look at my other positions here. SMR is kind of being a bitch. Just looking at, I have a Kava of a weekly at the money, which is not quite responding to the market. So I may have to close this for a loss and reestablish the spread. If it holds, if the structure is intact, it may not be intact. CLSK. Looking pretty good here. Still in that weekly at the money. I can remove this stuff. All right, looks like Hari's back in the chat. He's belittling someone who has made a bad trade. So it looks like he is feeling better. I hate how it just gets so, yeah, this is just a tangle. This is just a mess to look at because there's so much fucking TA here. Yeah, tiny volume doji here, holding the gains. Might be like, oh, will it go up, will it go down? This is a pretty good time to take gains, right? Again, based on the history of the stock, when it pulls away, that's when you want to take gains on that guy. It's coming up to the end of the candle, so let's look at SMR. So it's kind of fallen back in the range here. It's poking back a little bit. You know, I'm not super bearish right now. You can see that this candle has a little bit more volume. This is called stopping volume. So, right, we want volume to correspond with price action. So this was a long red candle with higher volume, and then this was a tiny candle on lower volume. Then I'd be a little bit more bearish. But if this starts to form a hammer here, we get some nice volume. We might surge back up higher. I may try to take some smaller profits on this stock, but I'm going to watch the price action. I should be able to at least get out for a double top here. Looks like DKS is going up a little bit more. Still running out most of that trade. Yeah, expecting a pullback here. I think it's probably going to happen in the next, potentially if we'll get a little retest of the all-time high, a little stall over here on DKS. That'd be pretty good. Yeah, this is a high volume candle. Let's see. I'm still pretty sure I can scratch out of this guy, so I'm not super worried on SMR. On this guy here. Got a little bit of lift off. Just holding the level here. I'm not panicking on this candle. So a little bit of a make or break candle, but I'm okay. I'm okay with leading on this trend line a little bit here. Okay with taking the loss. And I know that we're probably at least going to get a little bit of a double top. So we'll wait for this candle to finish. If we take a loss on this, we take the loss on this. Make sure my Microsoft Teams is on for work because I'm clearly doing quite a bit of work right now. Yeah, it's a beautiful move in SPY. Beautiful, beautiful move. Again, we got in here, right? I find that really getting in on key entry points on the stock is a little more important than the precision entry points on the market. So we might see a little bit of that pullback here now. There's a little, you can see already a lot of volume coming out of this first candle relative to this candle. So ideally, this is a if this is going to be a high volume candle, I want to see a candle a little bit like this, where we get a ton of high volume but very little distance. So this is instead of a long candle, this is like a candle with very low wicks and tails. But it has a very high spread. So something like this, where you get a ton of volume, but not a lot of distance. This is actually pretty bullish because this candle should be longer based on that volume, but it's not. And that tells us that we are feeling pretty bearish. So something like this, high volume doji here. It's in a compression, so it doesn't really mean too much. Try to put a lot of volume price analysis into this. I've been reading that book by Anna Cooling. Has been very, very helpful. Would highly recommend. Let's take a look at some of the tags. SMR continues to suck. Riven has been pretty nice, breaking through that. I like that. I like that on Riven. Grinding up higher. Not super strong here. Consumer cyclical has been very nice today. It's been leading the move up higher. If we look at the sector analysis, super strong. So we're in the strongest guy over here. DKS is pretty nice. Run, IBM, gap fill. Healthcare, I think, is also pretty nice, if I remember correctly. No, well, nah, not relative. Consumer cyclical is leading the way up here. Autos are doing pretty well, yeah. Riven is a nice move. It could be picking up a little bit of steam. It's just a little bit like just a choppy stock. It's like a very grindy, choppy stock. Like the price action on SPY is better than Riven. That should tell you something. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful grind higher. Accidentally put 244 instead of 224 on DKS. So he's probably like, there's no way this guy just got $40. You get $20 in an hour. Oh, yeah. This is it. This is the life. You're just kind of managing the stocks. SMR, getting close to the end of the candle here. All right, this is the move we wanted here. Hey, there's Docu. Docu's starting to move up. Getting a little bit ahead of itself on the price action on SPY. Docu breaking out here. We got to get a decent close. If we kind of a poke up close, not crazy about that. I want to see another candle. Long compression, but Docu could be pretty nice. Yeah, ETR of 1.6, so something like 40 cents would be pretty good. 30 to 40 cents on this guy. Certainly can move up a little bit more than that. All right, we'll keep an eye on Docu here. We'll see if it's able to close or able to move on these keys here. Well, this is why you don't anticipate. If you anticipated the bearish cross right here, you got flushed out. Absolutely gobsmacked. Nice. So high volume red candle. That's okay right now. We're just holding the gains. So getting pulled up a little bit by the market. I'm cool with it. Still surging higher. So now SMR, we want to keep an eye on here. We want to see this. I don't want to see that kind of candle. But we do want to see this kind of get past this level here on the stock. Else we are out of the trade. Out of the trade. So just watching this guy. Very few red candles on this move. That tells you how strong it is. Nice volume, very, very nice volume. Lots of green candles. This is as bullish as you can be in terms of the market price action. As bullish as you can be. Could be a nice time for some swing longs, I think. That's what my mind is going to. We're through CPI. We got some room here. So, got some management. SMR is pulling back in here. Toll. What the hell is Toll up to? So see, it's a very similar type of setup to DKS, but not as strong. Much, much weaker. Much, much weaker. Let's look at some strong D1s. See if there's some nice D1s we could get into. I mean, SMR is a really nice D1 to get into. So that's on our list. SMR, I think Lily is a decent swing here. Lily is a really nice swing here. Yeah. Very nice swing. Very nice grindy price action. Really, just want to be a little more careful. But I think some they were for like the next 2 weeks. If I were to swing this stock for the next 2 weeks, I think it should do pretty well. That's kind of my bias on Lily. I may just do that. I may just do that on Lily. Popping up high. The thing with SMR is, although you may not supposed to do this, as long as it holds the gains, it'll probably be a winner on the next day. So market's starting to get a little bit climaxy. DKS not quite participating. I want to not see it. See how this is a really great way to see how it starts to get a little bit more parabolic in terms of its relationship to the EMA slope. It's going straight. Now it's pulling away. We get a long candle here on low volume. We hit a little bit of an air pocket. That's when we'd want to take off some of that position. So a little bit weak here in the stock. SMR pulling back here. Certainly quite weak. So already going to be adjusting down my profit targets. So let's clear these orders. And let's see. I'm probably going to look for more of a scratch on this trade. So 1548. Bit of a failed breakout here. Some volume coming in. They had a little bit of follow through, right? And this follow through tells us that, yeah, there's some sellers here, especially when the market is going up. Should be at least a little bit flat. So this is still not as strong, but it's not as strong, but also not as weak, right? The fact that this is going down tells you that this is going to be a little bit more weak. So still leaning on SMR here. Nice move up. Yeah, so may take Lily long. I think that's Lily long. DJX is also pretty long. Not pretty long. I mean, it's pretty nice as a long. TJX has been a nice long for like not 3 years, but it's been a nice long for a long time. Nice little pullback here, pulling away today. A little bit overextended, so I wouldn't get in on it now. But Lily is probably where I'm going to put my money on that. So yeah, I'm going to try to scoop it on a pullback here. Because see that, I don't know. I think if I go to maybe an M30, it's a little bit better. Yeah, you can see how it has these dips, right? So I want to get in on these dips, and then the breakthrough of the dips is when we get that next leg higher. So I want to wait for a dip on this stock. If I can get it like, I don't know, 1930 or something like that, that could be a nice price. Nice. So this is validated. See how we get higher volume on this bar? So that still means it's validated. The move is still strong. We don't have to worry about the contra move just yet. So here I'm waiting for a little low volume pullback, and then we'll get that last leg higher on DKS, and then I'm feeling pretty good on it. Feeling pretty good on that stock. Okay. So SMR is breaking through this trend line. You're seeing some volume pick up here, so we're going to have to take probably start to take the loss on this stock on probably this candle. So we're going to wait for this candle to close, and then we're going to take the loss on this stock. It's a super heavy volume selling candle on not what we expected on the stock. So I have to adjust quickly. Now, we also want to see if this becomes a hammer as well, because this is high volume, but we don't want to panic on the immediate price action. Wait for this to close. If this is a hammer, then that is a pretty nice sign of bullishness. I still feel pretty good about, try to take a better loss on this. But if this is not a hammer, then we got to get out of the trade. So let's just wait for this to be a hammer. I'm going to have an alert set somewhere here. If we see a tail, then we know that this is probably going to be stopped for a bit. With Lily, how do I get a little pullback? I'm looking for maybe like an M15 pullback, maybe. M15 buy signal. Create alert. 1 OP signal, M15. So if we get that anywhere in the next day or two, then I'm going to be long on Lily. See how it pulls back to the 8 EMA? That's kind of where I want to get in on the trade. So somewhere like 1930 would be a very nice entry point on the stock. So just waiting for that. Nice, got a compliment on my entry. Always makes me feel good. Trying to be good entries. Let's not look at the M1. Although if you really wanted to, just as an interesting observation of fractal price action, move up here, see how we compress and we hold all the gains, right? That's kind of what you want to see. That's pretty much what's happening here. We're holding all the gains. Riding this guy higher. SMR. Come on, SMR. Don't do this to me, buddy. You were my friend, man. You're my friend. Thought I trusted you, but I was wrong. Yeah, market's floating higher here. So we're at the top of this trend line. That's okay. See, this is a huge volume. See how much validation is going to be in this candle, right? Like, if this does not close as a hammer, we got to get the fuck out of the trade. I'm going to get the fuck out of the trade. This like very rarely happens. I mean, this is not as common of a price action. So sometimes it means that maybe I missed something here. You know, we have a nice bullish trend line here. But it also just could be like, look, the price got pretty extended. This is some D1 profit taking. If I'm day trading this stock, not the end of the world. Maybe something like this. Oh, that's a pretty bad line here. How about something like that? Also not the best. So maybe just got too much to a high plus trend line here. Oh, SMR, is it time to get out? Oh, hey, we got a little bit of a tail. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. This is probably going to be a loser, but we could probably salvage the trade because we got this little bit of a tail here. We held VWAP. So this is the first chink in the armor. Buyers are going to come back. We're probably going to get out of double top. I still think we can salvage the trade. We just have to be a little bit extra patient. There's our good friend, Mr. DKS. How is SPY doing? Yeah, so probably looking to take Lily long at the end of the day and ride that guy out for 2 weeks. Seeing here, a lot of let's ready this pullback here. Look at this low volume pullback. Now, this market has get a little bit extended. We're probably closer to the end of the move than the beginning. And first sign here, we get let's see this decently high volume doji. So if I see another high volume doji like this, that's when I'm on my warning sign. So I'm waiting for another little pullback to the 8 EMA, this nice low volume pullback. I'm going to add to this move just a slight bit, maybe add like 2 or 3 shares. And then I'm going to ride up the next move, hopefully somewhere like 226, and then take profit on the whole thing. SMR, buddy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on, buddy. Now, again, if it breaks to this low, like we are for sure out of the trade. We have to hold VWAP here, and I do not want to see, the retest of this low. I want to see buyers jump in at this price. This should be a bargain from over here. And I do feel, and the reason this is important, right? When the trade goes against you, I know that this is a very strong D1, and this is a very strong M5. So buyers this should not just simply reverse like that, right? This should be a double top. We should get some sort of a double top here. It will take some time. It may not be at my price point, but it could be even something like 1530, right? And that's still a way better exit on a loss than something like over here. So not panicking. Watching this volume come in, starting to stall. We got a couple of little red candles here. I like to see a little bit of a little dip in SPY and then DKS hold that, and then I can sort of add to the trade. It's probably going to be a long video. Yeah, already an hour. But hopefully this is, I don't know, I will probably release this, but hopefully this is helpful and just a live means of just reacting to the trade, going what I want to see. Because it's in the video, it's like, here's what a setup, here's what I want to see, but there's just a lot of kind of candle to candle context that you can miss. So when you do the live trading, kind of just follow a position. You kind of see how my thinking's changing and stuff like that. All right, so we're getting a little bit of a red candle here. Let's watch. This is not a reversal. This is not going to be a reversal. This is just going to be a pullback. Right? You would have to, even if we stack a whole bunch of red candles to VWAP, that just tells us that the next move we're going to get out of our longs, right? So not too crazy about that. Now, the problem is SMR is already a little weak, so we need to see this ideally compress on a SPY move down. That's what we're watching for here. How's Riven doing? I always do like trading Riven. I don't know why. Even though it's like just weird. I just something about it. I think just because it's like very liquid. Even though I don't even trade options on it, I just, for some reason, man, the price action on Riven, it just calls to me. I cannot explain it. I really can't. Nice. So this is the action we want to see here. Kind of curious how it looks like on the M1. Yep. So here is a selling climax is what it looks like. And then we're getting this strong reversal right here. So if it's a very liquid stock like this, right, a lot of volume, you can see that the price action, the M1 actually starts to make some sense. But it's just zooming in, right? The same way like, there's EAT. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at EAT. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Call this out in the chat. That is a beautiful thing on EAT. All right, so a little bit of a long, this is not a bearish hammer per se. This is a fairly validated action. Let's see if this picks up any steam. I love EAT as a swing on the short side. I'm not going to lie. This is some very consistent price action, some double top. I may swing this on the short side as well. It's probably what I'm looking at here. Nice. I'd say it's a pretty nice potential swing short setup on EAT. See, there we go, right? Just when you think you get something going, hammer, right? Bullish hammer. So SMR is starting to rise up higher. How is DKS doing? Yeah, still pulling back a little bit. So now I'm watching this. So if we get a hammer here, if we close at a hammer, and DKS finds a little bit of support, maybe if we get a green candle like this, start to get a little bit of lift off, we close, maybe close above this high, I'm going to add to the trade. I am going to add to the trade. SMR, this might have triggered an LRSI alert. Let's see this. It'll probably trigger pretty soon. You can see the alert is going to be delayed, right? The price action is already moving this way. So there's going to be a little bit of lag on LRSI. I do like it. I've just been using it a little bit less, just leaning on the price action a little bit more. And I find that having these charts where it's like I don't even have the relative strength indicator, no LRSI, no 1 squeeze, no 1P, just the price action helps me really focus on what is very important. So we broke through all these lines. This is completely invalidated. This is somewhat invalidated. And we just know that this is getting in a consolidation period. So I'd like to scratch out of the trade. Let's see the strength of this move up higher. Very confident I can scratch out. I think I'm probably like 90-95% sure I can scratch out of the trade. Oh, 1 second. Just looking at what the hell is going on here. Oh, ChatGPT. All right, it's gonna be a pretty useful thing. It's a nice snapback. I could even add to this right now a little bit. But I don't like to average down to my winners, so I'm not gonna do that. Typically, I do not like to do that. I'm just going to wait for, let's see how we engulf this pretty quickly. And yeah, I mean, I now feel a little bit better about the move. If this was a more wimpy move, then I wouldn't be as confident, but I'm going to stick to my original price target. I'm just going to scratch out of the trade. And also being patient, right? There's like, for every DKS, there's going to be a stock like SMR, which if you panic out on that first red candle, give away all your gains very, very quickly. Because on these trades, usually your losses can be a little bit bigger than your winners. So, you know, we didn't panic, right? We waited for this to finish. And then we knew that we thought there's going to be a snapback and take some double top here. So it's just adjusting our targets. I'm really now here's the greed factor. I'm wondering if I can get closer to something like 1560. You get a tiny win on this. I don't know. I really do not know. Market is another bear cross coming in over here. Watching the volume on this guy. Let's look at DKS. We have a little doji, not as strong of a candle. Maybe a candle like this is what I wanted. So we're going to get another candle or two. It might have to stall out a little bit more before we get the lift off. Bro. Huh. Oh, let's keep sorting this by range, sorting this by range. Let's look at IBM here. I wonder if it filled in the gap. Looks like it did fill in the gap. Now we're seeing some selling pressure. Now on a day like this, right? You might think, oh man, dude, it's over for IBM. Like it possibly cannot go any higher. When we have a market that is pretty much a max bullish market, I'm going to call this like a 3, maybe, in a stock that's very, very bullish. Do not underestimate the power of these setups. So I'm going to set an alert here. Let me see what alerts I have on this stock. All right, and I'm going to set a LRSI alert. So comes over here. We can probably still catch a move up if you really wanted to. Probably catch a buck on that move, which is pretty nice. SMR continuing. What I'm going to do here is just kind of bracket SMR a little bit. See if it can move through here so I just don't have to watch it all the time. Go through here. If it starts to close below this candle, I might take out the loss, but I want to see it continue to truck higher, and I'm watching for another sort of like a high volume doji again that starts to stall out, and that's when I would get out for profit. So this is a nice high volume hammer, held the gains, made sure kind of move back into this range. There's a bit of a retest, so I like what I'm seeing here on SPY. We might consolidate for a little bit of time, ideally, and then maybe make a last little leg higher. Getting close to the end of the day here. We got 2 hours left. Got 2 hours left on the market. We might need to see a little bit of a dip before we get something going. A couple of tails I would not mind seeing here on SPY, DKS. Now we're getting a bit of a sell-off here. It's okay. I'm not too worried about that. That's why we did partial gains here. I know that we can probably take some gains at the next double top. So not worried about DKS. If it does reach my original price, I'm just going to scratch out of the trade. I don't think that's going to happen. I'd be very surprised if it dropped that far. We're still halfway in the candle formation, so this still could be a hammer, or maybe even a bullish engulf. So this just might be the pullback we need in order to ride up this trade. It's good to be sticky on a stock like this. SMR continuing up higher. Let's see what sets up. I really want to get on Lily today, but I'm holding myself back. I should have gotten in at somewhere over here, or I should have gotten in probably at least. I wonder actually. There's SMR again. I wonder if Lily. I wonder if a relative strength alert. Yeah, a relative strength alert would be a pretty nice alert on the M30. So I'm actually going to set that alert instead. That could be a little bit more predictive. Create alert. Real relative strength. M30. All right, so trying to catch this on a move. So my market bias is bullish. It's bullish on Lily. This is like literally the best stalking trade. It may have some psychological resistance at 1,000. That's kind of what I'm looking at here. But yeah, just getting into the 8 EMA. If I get in the 8 EMA, I am a happy camper. Okay, a little bit of a tail here. See if we can close near its high. Oh, Docu. Did it? I totally forgot to look at Docu. I wonder if it looks like it didn't move up. Yep, fell back in the range. So see how we poke through here. Couldn't actually confirm above it. So just set another alert at the high of the day. If we can get through above it, it might be good. It could form, again, another sort of ascending triangle here. Something like that. So still could be in play, but it looks like it just made a really massive move. Absolutely parabolic. It's holding all the gains. So that tells you that this could be a nice overnight swing. What I've noticed is that when you make a really big move like this, and it holds all the gains like that, right? And the move doesn't happen on the same day, it may still happen on the next day. So not a bad overnight swing. DKS. DKS is, it's selling off a little bit here. We're getting a little bit of a tail. What's going on here? We got some heavy volume. Starting to see a little bit of weakness. That's why we took our gains. Yeah, not ideal, but it is what it is. Happens. Happens. Nice. Well, I'm feeling good about SMR. The problem is though, here's the question. What's the level that it's going to reject off of? Is it going to be somewhere here around 1537? Or is it going to be somewhere a little bit higher at 1548 where my entry is, right? Because we didn't poke above it. So where is the resistance truly, right? Is the resistance here? And this is just a poke? Or is the resistance here? And this is sort of minor. So not quite sure. The volume is rising on that, which is good. So we're still going to probably move up higher. DKS, we got a nice red candle here. So selling off here, that's why we took profits into strength. This is a bit of a deeper pullback. I don't like this red candle. So again, I'm willing to scratch out of the trade. So I'm just going to have a stop here. But more likely what's going to happen is we're going to have to exit at a double top. That's what I'm looking at here. So let's see the response on this candle. If we can engulf this pretty quickly, right? We get a pretty steep rejection up higher, then this red candle will mean nothing. I want to see green, green, green. The more aggressive the selling is on the downside, the more aggressive I want to see the buying back up towards the upside. Nice. Reddit was nice earlier today. Looks like it hit that level. So that could have been a nice trade. Yeah, we get it on the pullback over here. And you ride that guy up. It's some resistance. Yeah, I find that I can't manage more than 2 day trades at a time. It takes so much effort for me just to verbalize and talk about what I want to see. Not if I have like 3 day trades on at the same time, I just start to panic and I make bad decisions. Make pretty bad decisions. Huh. Seems to be some some morose. What the hell? Nice. Oh. Oh. That's funny. Big Bear thought Big Bear thought I made 10%. That's funny. I'm glad I fat fingered the entry and not I didn't fat finger the actual trade. That's too funny. All right, so a little bit of consolidation here. Let's see what happens. I think we'll probably get one leg higher still on the stock. These like if you think this day is just gonna roll over, you're in a bit of a shock. You're gonna be in a shock. Okay, we got a little doji here. I like to see this as a higher volume doji, a super high volume doji, something like this sort of volume. That tells me that we're stopping here and we're probably going to reverse. And then this was just a bit of a selling climax. Kind of what happened here. Yeah, looks like some bullish specs got flushed out. I know I'm flipping to the N1. I don't really use the M1 a lot. It's just interesting to me because what if you zoom out to the M15, right? You might say, okay, here's what this looks like. Here's a compression and a compression break. If you zoom out, like on M15, it's like, all right, it's not the end of the world, right? On the M5, it looks a lot more worse. But yeah, just in case this goes horribly wrong, I am going to have a limit price. When did I buy DKS at? DKS, I bought at 227, 221. 72. So in case it hits that price, I will probably scratch out of the trade. And I can always re-enter on a pullback. So that's probably what I'm going to do on DKS. But let's see how this volume is now rising and we're unable to get anything going. We're going to get another move up higher to test that level. In fact, I'm so confident that's going to happen. I'm not even going to put my stop. I'm not going to put my stop. There is SMR here. It's slowing down a little bit. This might be a good time to potentially take a loss on the trade. I may exit partially for a loss here. We're getting close. We're kind of stalling out a little bit. This is a tiny candle. Yeah, so I'm going to take a partial loss here. So let's sell 20 here, clear that. Okay. So took a partial loss here. Still got a little bit more left. So let's see if we can't make that a tiny loss. All right. DKS, a little bit of stopping volume here. So the trend is already weakening. Let's see if we can get a move to that double top. And that's probably where I'm going to set my order on this stock. So let's go here. 220, probably the same price actually, 225.54. You might say, hey man, you should have just taken the whole thing out when you originally scaled out. Well, we didn't quite know. Oh, there's our LRSI cross. We didn't quite know that this was not, the red candle was just not part of the game plan, right? I didn't really expect that to happen. So let's put that there. All right, so that's our double top. goal. I like to set it a little bit below the high in case it's a double top high or low. That's usually my thinking. All right, we got a little bit of a red candle here, so that's okay. I want to see it hold. Yeah, taking the 10 cents loss though. It's pretty nice. That is a pretty good exit. Very proud of that exit. Maybe I could write it a little bit more, but market stalling here a little bit. Stock had made a pretty big retracement. This could be the double top scenario. What I'm watching for is this red candle going to have a ton of volume coming up over here? That's kind of my clue. That is kind of my clue. Everyone's talking about Meta. What the hell's going on in Meta? Something here. You go long Meta? It's not really a good long. Yeah, double top, Marshall new high. It's kind of a no man's land. Really nothing to do with the stock. Yeah, nice little hammer here. That's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. It's beating to the tune of its own drum. Now, if I was still more aggressive, I could actually even set my alert for 1560, right? And then I could actually make back what I lost. I lost 13 cents on half the position, so I'd have to make the 13 cents back up for the gains. And then it would pretty much be a 13-cent loss on a half size. So it's a tiny loss on a half position. And I think that's pretty much how you do it. So let's see. I think probably, maybe not this candle. We'll see. But probably the next candle, I think we can scratch out of the trade and then take a tiny loss on SMR. It's like a DKS here. Here we go. We got a little green candle. A little relatively weak here. But yeah, again, I don't think that this stock is just going to roll over. I think we are going to get a bounce. Just not how the price action works. Yeah, let's see if there's anything that's pretty weak here. This stock has just been on my radar the whole goddamn day. Yeah, I was eyeing cost earlier, just didn't quite set up. So there's some stopping volume. Yeah, if we get an LRSI alert, I could even add on that alert and then write it up. That's probably what I'm going to do, actually. So view alerts. It's HA reversal. I think we're going to get that as well. Currently quite bearish here. I wonder if we hit any D1 point. I'm kind of curious. Is it really this? No way. Seems like an odd point. Not a high volume candle here. So can't always, tie every single move to like a D1 TA or something like that. But I always like to check. Sometimes, it's more than others. A great example here is MMM. I was an idiot, took a short on this, right? And I was like, oh yeah, look, we have space until this level. I was somewhere here. And then it bounced off this gap fill from 980 and had a huge monster rally back up. Now, it's not the best D1 chart, and that's kind of the problem. If you don't have a great D1 chart, then yeah, if you don't have a great D1 chart, I feel like there's just all sorts of TA that you can run into. This is pretty much invalidated. This is pretty much invalidated. So really, to me, the trend line on MMM is going to be here. That is one trend line, and we actually broke through that trend line right there. A little bit of a wedge. Okay, here we go. A little bit of a tiny red candle. Let's see how this looks. Okay, we're getting some stopping volume here. It's starting to stall out. Now I expect to see some relative strength come into the stock. Market's stalling here a little bit. Just has to digest the gains, and then we'll get that next leg higher. I don't think it'll go that much higher. Maybe to 564, 564.50, I think. So getting a pullback. There could be even a nice buy trade setting up. Let's see. So what I'm going to do here is set an alert, an end of day alert right here. Got to make sure my Microsoft Teams is online. Haven't really done any work today. It's a nice day. Finished my busy week at work. So again, we're not panicking. We're not reacting to any single half-formed candle. You're just trading the price action. I need to watch my CLSK is doing well. How's Kava doing? Kava is kind of sucking right now. I will probably have to take the loss on my short puts here. Where the hell is my Kava? Could get assigned, but I don't want to get assigned to those puts. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take the loss on the short puts. Probably. We'll see if I can get a nice little pop up here. It's the current price. Yep. And then I can also reestablish the weekly at the money. Oops. So I gotta do next week's. I'll probably make it back in a couple of weeks. The 85, because I'm still bullish on the market and the stock for the next couple of weeks. So it has to hold this level. If I can't hold this level, then I gotta be out of the trade. There we go. We got a nice another bullish hammer. Okay. So yeah, so while the candle's forming, I'm not really doing too much, right? I'm not judging the stock while the candle's forming. I'm just kind of getting in, right? When it starts to hit the 4, right? The 224, like about the last minute of the candle formation, that's when I start taking a look. So it's pulling back here a little bit. I like CLSK. I'm probably going to take my CLSK position here right now. Let's sell these puts. Oops. All right. CLSK has been an interesting weekly at the money. It's not your usual setup, but it has been an interesting guy to trade nonetheless. I'm still bullish on the stock, but it's kind of on Kava. It's holding the gains here. I don't love this double top, but it's actually kind of a triple top here. Pretty weak, but it is holding this level. So as long as I hold this level, I'm good. I can kind of stick with the position. Okay, so SMR hitting a little bit of volume here. I think I'm going to take the loss on the rest of the trade right now. Kind of stalling out here. Where is here? Let's go to 38. Oh. Started to move. No way. Okay. So took the small loss. We took a 13-cent loss on SMR versus our upside, which was closer to, if I put SMR here, our upside on SMR, the hell? Oh, that's why, because I have to put it on this chart. I need my main chart because that's my ATR. But the upside on SMR was, I don't know, 40 cents, 40 or 50 cents. So, that is a pretty good loss in my book where we were patient. We had a good price. And look, from our entry price here, we were pretty much able to kind of scratch out of the trade, take a tiny loss on this guy. So we can get rid of this, and then we can just focus on DKS. Still trickling down here. This is now tiny volume. Still think we're going to get that move up higher, so I'm not panicking on this position. Not a lot to manage. I guess it should have been a live stream, huh? Would have been a little bit easier. Yeah, this needed a little bit of wizardry on the stock. See, I got the high 1545, so got really close to that price. Didn't quite get to it. And this is sort of around that resistance point, right around here, right? We're hitting a little bit of resistance. Now, it could break through. I don't know. It's certainly showing some relative strength, given that the market has been pulling back here. But I feel like the closer we get to this and the weaker the price action gets, the less confident I become that this is going to continue up higher. So could I, and this is where it gets really refined and very nuanced. Could I have given it another candle? Maybe. But I mean, I feel like I played that pretty well. Got a good entry. Because I didn't chase over here, right? I took a way better loss. So a greater entry means you have a greater potential to scratch out of these trades. So that's a really try to get a great entry. Right, and even on something like DKS, right? Instead of me chasing up here, right? Yeah, like I can scratch out of this trade if it really starts to reverse on me. And so far, this last move here has been very weak, super weak move. So if anything, this could be a retest of this level, but I think my LRSI cross should trigger. So if anything, I'll scratch out of this trade, worst case scenario, and then I can re-enter on an LRSI pullback. So yeah, but this is uncommon. Usually we'll get like a little another retest, and that's where I would exit or move up higher. So this tells you that there's just going to be a little bit of selling pressure. But you got to be patient. You don't anticipate this move, predict this move until it's going to happen, and then once it happens, then you adjust everything more accordingly. A little high volume candle here. Okay, we're starting to stall out. We're hitting some support a little bit above the all-time high. There's some sellers here. We could be even dead for the rest of the day, to be honest. Last 90 minutes could be dead. Nothing really going on here. Oh my God. So much explanation in the chat. Yeah. Let's keep it after hours, buddy. All right, so we are hitting my testing point here. Let's see now. I'm kind of curious if this is going to be a hammer or not. We're getting a little bit hammery. We did actually would have scratched out of the trade right here. Yeah, a little hammer here. Okay, I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. Now I want this to start to continue up higher. SMR now starting to reverse. All right, so at this point I would get out of the trade, right? And it's like, oh, what if it goes back up? We got this heavy selling pressure. We're starting to roll over a little bit here. That's when you want to get out of the trade. Hey, there we go. Okay, so my LRSI alert should trigger soon. I can enter that and then probably ride that up for like $1, and then take some remaining profits. You got this bearish cycle here, not really producing. SPY can get through this trend line. I might be interested in taking this along on SPY. Been doing a 1-share SPY trade. See if I got any fills on my stuff here. CLSK I'm in. Kava not quite in. Kava not quite in. So just set an alert here. Should trigger up higher. and I'll bracket that over here. So if we can start to get through over here, then I'm going to get into the stock. And the clue is just a price action of the volume, right? This is a scary candle. What's the follow through like? See here that it's not going to be a huge follow through. Higher volume candle, so this is some stopping volume. High volume doji, we're close to the end of the move. Low volume candle, this is validation. And then a nice high volume bearish hammer. So first signs of a potential reversal here. Oh man, I really want to trade Lily, but I have to wait. I gotta wait for that pullback. It's just such a beautiful stock. But I mean, like, I know if you get it, if you snipe this trade on the pullback to the 8 EMA, you're just perpetually chilling. I mean, look, imagine you snipe it over here at 875, you get immediate price confirmation in your favor. You have such a huge cushion even on this pullback. You're not even worst case you scratch out of the trade, and then you just ride this guy higher. Beautiful grind up. Yeah, I mean, I feel like right here at 930, probably ride this up to $1,000. I don't know if it's gonna get there in 2 weeks, but hey, I mean, if anyone can do it, it's our guy EY Lily. It's gonna be our guy EY Lily. Okay, we are back. We are back. DKS, first signs that the trend is stalling. SPY trend is also stalling a little bit here, getting pretty dead. I feel like on a day like this, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get any major sort of reversal, but we could just be dead for the rest of the day. Could be dead for the rest of the day. The day. Yeah. That's the nice move on Lily there. My main pick. A list of good D1s. Let's see if that's still good. Tesla moving back up. Was looking nice for a long today. Dead. On stocks that are looking a little bit more weird now after that day yesterday. A lot of tech stocks. IREN. I think IREN is nice. So I got an alert on a Redfin like a million years ago. Forgot to trade that. Hey, that's a nice breakout. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Not a bad overnight swing. I think I would take a longer term swing on it. It's a goddamn nice move. Look at that shit. Some nice shit right there. And just some nice stuff. Yeah, it's got some room till here. May have another trend line in the way. Let me check this guy. Didn't quite click to where I wanted to click, but I think either way you get the trend line breach. Not too bad. CLF. Yeah, it was weak. Now it's pretty strong. Remove that guy. TGX, I know it's still good. ISRG, I wonder if this guy's still good. Not bad. It's not bad. I think Lily's just better. It's my opinion. Sort of flattening out here. See how it broke through the bottom of this trend line, and it's kind of, it broke it through a time breach, not a technical breach. BAX, close to the end of the candle here. Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. Break the trend line. This is getting a little bit of lift off. I should get my LRSI alert pretty soon. And I'd like to see it clear this candle and close above the 8 EMA. So what I want to see is a couple things. One, Flat bottom HE candle. I want to see it close above the 8 EMA, and I want that LR side alert to trigger. Once that gets going, I know that we are beginning that next phase of the move. Cyclicals are also, they've been leading the charge up today, so they're probably still, still got one more shot left in the tank. Let's keep looking. We got backs. Fording a base is probably actually a pretty decent reversal at this point. Pretty decent reversal. Not crazy about meta. I'm gonna take meta off the list. Let's look at eBay. A bit of a triple top. eBay had so much potential. This is just like the. I mean, look, if I had a. If I had a weekly at the money on this, would have been crazy. Now earnings are coming up. A little too soon for that. U was really nice. We actually traded that earlier. Look how it formed that double bottom, and now it's starting to rally up higher. So take U out of here. Still can't. I'm not as confident trading the reversal because we're below our A VWAP E, also below the 50 SMA. So we don't know if it's going to be short covering or not. Wouldn't do anything more than a day trade. Baidu is a weird ass stock. I mean, massive pop up. You see these huge pops, and then we get the smackdowns. So I only day trade these Chinese stocks. I really don't do that much because it's just like they're crazy. There's just like so much news and stuff that happens overnight. Just not a fan. Not a fan of DKS. I want this to be another hammer here. He a fan. He a fan. He a fan. I wonder what there was another. Hold on. I think the two ones I liked today most of all. Is this gonna load? Come on. I think Eat and Lily were my two favorites here. So Eat, we got another retest. We're getting a little bit of a bounce, which is expected because let's look it up here, right? We got a pretty big bounce here. So I want to see another bounce and then another break through this low of the day. So not worrying. Once we get through this low, then I'm back in the trade. And I feel pretty good. But until we get through that low, I am not crazy about anything here. I think we got a pretty nice path to that 200-day SMA. This candle is coming here. Coming here. Just make sure there's no like crazy long-term TA. Oh yeah, and you can see too how it rejected off the all-time high, which is I believe is that right here? Yeah, actually I should probably draw that on a candle. I think this is my. Oops, come on. Control G. Control. Hey, there we go. I like to make these all-time highs dark blue, and it's really easy to see them on a monthly chart. So that way, I know that if we're approaching that major price point, I want to be a little bit more careful. And this is a really nice reversal pattern where we get a double top off the all-time high. Whoops, that's the wrong time frame. Right, so we're close to the all-time high, get the double top, and then we get the reversal. Very similar setup to Netflix, where we get the again double top near the all-time high, and then we get some selling pressure. So pretty nice setup. So I think EAT could be a very similar setup. I think I have a nice potential day trade short here, or sorry, swing short on this stock. 50 SMA is upward sloping, but it should flatten out as the price continues. Or is it the 100 SMA? Sorry, is upward sloping, but it should flatten out as the price goes down because we've had some selling pressure. Yeah. We're still holding this level. Not crazy about that candle. I may get out of the trade on that candle if it closes like this. So let's get another 30 seconds here. But yeah, like EAT, if this is a weaker bounce, we keep testing this level multiple times, we're eventually going to break through. It's kind of like a, it's like a bouncing ball. It's like what I think of it. We get a bounce, we hit it, bounce up, hit it, bounce up higher, right? Every time you bounce up, it's a little bit lower, right? Because of gravity. So that's what that descending pattern looks like to me. Oh, come on, DKS. Why are you doing this to me? Thought you were my friend, man. Thought you were my friend. Okay. I think we scratch out of the trade here. This is not the candle I want to see. It's a low volume candle. Low volume candle. Not getting anything going. Okay, so let's scratch out of the trade. 221 65. Let's see if I get a fill here. Okay, put that in the chat. DKS, remaining 1/2 at 2265 for a scratch. All right. So yeah, don't know if it'll break through or not. It might not. Who knows? But if I am wrong, I lose money. And if I'm right, yeah, maybe I make some money. But if I get out now, I reevaluate this, and then I start to move up, then I'm interested. But like I said before, I didn't expect it to fall this far by its price point. So if that happens on this scenario, I'm okay with scratching out of the trade. Now, SPY's starting to get a little bit of movement here. So let's see if we can find another stock that's pretty bullish. Hey guys, that's the end of the recording. Had a little bit more, but it got corrupted. So we'll cut it at the end of the DKS trade. Hopefully it was helpful. I had some fun doing it, so maybe I'll do it live in the future. Thanks for watching.